Hey everybody, Rose Matter here. Welcome to part 1 of my Higurashi When They Cry Meakashi Let's Play. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. The first of the answer arcs. I am super excited to get into this and finally figure out what the heck is going on. And this one seems to be a very popular one with you guys. This seems to be the one you have been most excited to watch me play. And you're saying this one is pretty intense, so I am excited and nervous at the same time. So in this one, we are going to be playing as Shion. So Shion is going to be our protagonist, which should be very interesting because I'm not the biggest fan of Shion, but I mean, I'm willing to, maybe once I learn more about her, maybe she'll grow on me. We'll see. Anyway, I know you guys are excited about this. I am too. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right. Meakashi, beloved cutthroat, eye-opening chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi When They Cry. Kai. We finally reached the halfway point. From the viewpoint of the protagonist, try to find the truth behind the tragedy that unfolds. The difficulty is very high. It won't be easy to comprehend the motive of the perpetrator. She dropped her beads in the sand, so the girl cried. For 100 years the girl searched the sands. They might be in the ocean, not the sand, so the girl cried. For 100 years the girl searched the ocean. They might be in the mountains, not the ocean, so the girl cried. How many years will pass before the girl wonders if she dropped them? Seven keys were attached to the keychain. Without knowing which key was the correct one, I had to go by instinct and try every key one by one. On average, I'd reach the correct key with 3.5 attempts. I'd be fortunate if I could open the lock within the first 3 keys. And I'd be unfortunate if I didn't. I had to think of the worst case scenario, getting the right key only on the very last attempt. I fought with my nervousness. My head ached from it. I put the key in and turned it. I just needed to repeat that small procedure several more times, but I couldn't stop shaking. Damn. Even a 3-year-old kid can do something this easy. So am I more childish than a 3-year-old? Whatever, I don't care if I'm clumsy. I just need to try all these keys. Even in the worst case scenario, the lock will open on the 7th try. Reality isn't always the same as math. What happened was worse than my worst case scenario. None of the keys worked at all. I could feel the blood draining from my brain. Did I get the wrong set of keys? No, I definitely see a faint marking that says this set is for this door. Am I just reading it wrong? Should I go back to the key cabinet to look for the right one? That would mean a great loss of time. Just by being here, I'm already risking so much. Something that could ruin everything might happen any moment. If I can't open this lock, do I have to go back to the administration office? If there were no other choice, it'd be a waste of time to spend another second here. The administration office wouldn't necessarily be empty at this time. Somebody might come in. I won't be able to look for the right key if that happens. I stood up quickly, as if electrified. I was almost in a panic, and so felt the urge to move. My instinct pushed me. I have to go back there as quickly as possible. It's dangerous to be here, and it's also dangerous if somebody comes into the administration office. I cooled my head, making it as chilly as possible to repress my fear. Calm down, Shion. Mion wouldn't panic in this situation. Maybe I'm just mistaken. Why don't I try the keys? One more time. The next moment, I felt a faint vibration in the air. Somebody was walking somewhere in the hallway. If it were a normal situation, I would have known I wouldn't run into them since the footsteps were very far away. But at the time, I couldn't think calmly. Ah, shit. Why am I panicking this much just because of footsteps? Calm down, calm down. I should be feeling excited instead. Calm down, calm down. I just need to do what I have to do. I should ignore the footsteps because they're not an immediate threat. Pretend they aren't there. I have to listen for something much more important right now. Oh, shit. This key should be hard and cold, but it's pliable and hot. It feels like rubber. How could I stick this into the keyhole? Shit, shit, shit. It wasn't the key that was pliable. It's my fingers that were limp. Oh, shit, shit, shit. The key sprung out of my hand and fell to the floor. It shouldn't have made any sound, because it was so pliable, but it made a tremendous metal noise as if somebody pushed over a cupboard. Cling! The sound almost stopped my heart. I felt dizzy for a while. I looked around afterwards to carefully see if I caused any disturbance to the surroundings. Calm down, calm down. Nothing's changed. I don't hear anything. So, am I safe? Calm down, calm down, calm down. Wait, I don't hear anything. What about those footsteps in the distance? Calm down, calm down, calm down. Are they looking for me after they notice the sound? Oh shit, what is the sound I'm hearing? Is it my sweat dripping on the floor? Shut up, shut up, shut up. How could I hear the sound of my sweat? Calm down, calm down, calm down. Calm the fuck down. I have to clarify. This isn't a prison or detention center. It's a private school. Not a normal one, though. Oh, this music is nice. It costs a fortune just to get in. It's a boarding school that provides education from elementary school to university. Being for girls only, rather than a school, you could say it's a factory that manufactures ladies. Some of my classmates here have never even used public transportation. Really, it isn't normal. To me, saying how nice to see you instead of just hi is already insane. And calling the teachers sisters gives me the creeps. I hate the morning and evening prayers, to say nothing of the Sunday Mass. I don't want to memorize the Bible passages, and the Holy Ghost gives me a rash. If I stayed in this institution, that's what I call the place, for many years, I'd either go crazy or be brainwashed. So I'm wondering if they sent Shion to this, because they said elementary school to university, so it's basically they just packed her away and sent her to a private school to just basically get her out of, the public eye, because of the whole thing about the twins, where Mion is the heir and Shion is basically just the other, so they just basically are like, we want to forget you exist. Most of the girls choose to be brainwashed, but I can't do that. After all, I was more impressed by the political schemes and international trade behind religious propagation than by the love of God which the Bible teaches. Because of that, I've been treated as a problematic child from the beginning. I experienced lots of disadvantages as a result. I realized that quickly, so I superficially pretended to be normal. However, I got tired of acting, so I started to reveal my true self from time to time. I became a problematic child once again. People started to treat me differently once again. It's fun to misbehave, but it wouldn't do anything for me in the long run. So why did I act that way? Why, even though I knew it was going to backfire on me later on? After examining my emotions, I realized I'd completely had it with my surroundings. I was afraid of being brainwashed in this institution. I can't live here. I won't let them brainwash me. 6 months ago, I decided to escape this place. The moment I made up my mind, I started to feel alive again. I acted ladylike in order to deceive the sisters. Pretending became fun once I'd set my goal. It gave me the creeps when they told me with smiles that it was God's influence I started to behave religiously. I don't know, it's kind of weird to me. Forgive me if I am ignorant about, religious things, but sisters, I assume, like nuns, talking about God. I don't know, that seems kind of weird in Japan? I don't know. Once again, I am so sorry. I might be completely ignorant about this, but I didn't realize, I'm assuming this is like, Catholic. It seems like a Catholic school. It just doesn't seem like something I would think of that would be in a Japanese boarding school. I laughed at them behind their backs. I took on my classmates' duties in order to understand the layout of the school and the schedules of the staff and guards. I soon found out that the security of the school was immensely tight because there were many daughters of important people living there. The guards walked their beat randomly. There were surveillance cameras everywhere. The system that kept out intruders ironically also worked to prevent escapees, but that excited me instead. I simulated how to avoid all the surveillance in my head many times. I drew an escape route in the corner of my notes during class and tested it if it worked. I strove to acquire any necessary skills for the escape. It was all fun. After all, the situation was cathartic for me. That's who I am. No matter how hard they try to brainwash me, I'd never change. I'd been waiting for the moment of my escape, preparing physically and mentally. First, I needed the courage to escape. I had to be confident of the plan. I had to think deeply about it. I also needed skills and physical strength. I imagined all the possible obstacles and trained myself. It was funny because I was finally able to enjoy gym classes, even the long-distance runs. I needed a perfect plan as well as the physical strength and skills necessary to execute it. Also supported by those things, I needed determination. I made sure I had all I needed and executed the plan. I decided to plant a seed in school before the appointed day. The seed was a rumor that one of the male teachers was having a relationship with a student. I won't go into the details now, but that can turn into an enormous problem in this school. The school is limited to girls precisely because their parents want to avoid those kinds of problems. Those parents are mostly important people from various positions. If the romance was a fact and was leaked to the public, the principal would have to commit suicide in shame. In fact, even that might not be enough. In the world of girls, rumors spreads fast, especially when they're separated from boys and are obsessed with dirty thoughts. So this kind of rumor goes around really quickly. The sisters try to get rid of that kind of rumor, and they warn the students not to be swayed by it. But apparently, they're the ones who are most swayed by those rumors. This means that I managed to make them furtively deal with something shady without contacting families or the authorities. So if I disappeared in these circumstances, it looked like I ran away with some teacher. All the male teachers would deny it, of course. However, the school wouldn't believe what they said so easily. After all, there's a dirty rumor going around. By the time the school finds out about my escape, after they eliminate all the other possibilities, I'll be somewhere safe. I guess maybe this speaks to Shion where she's thinking just about herself and she's willing to throw people under the bus. Because it's like, I don't care if I ruin the reputations of these teachers who've done nothing wrong if it just means it helps me. I tried hard to spread the rumor I was involved in the forbidden romance as widely as possible. The sisters questioned me a few times, but since the romance was something I'd made up, they couldn't find anything. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find any evidence. After 3 months, I was certain that I'd created a solid foundation. I swapped after-dinner duties with my classmates so I could adjust my schedule on this day. I was even able to fill them with suspicion about me by doing that. Now they'll definitely suspect I ran away with some male teacher. Tonight was the night. I began my chores after dinner. After lights out, somebody will find out about my disappearance. My generous roommate would probably wait about 10 minutes before she reported me to a sister, but no longer than that. I had about an hour tops, but that's enough for me. I took a step off my regular route. That was the first step towards my great escape. I calmed down and thought, the key shouldn't be wrong. This lock is old and firm. Isn't it possible I put the right one in, but the lock was just stiff, and I only thought I got the wrong one? I realized my nervousness was making me clumsy. The gloves that I'm wearing to avoid leaving fingerprints must be getting in the way, too. I should try the key one more time. I picked the most probable one and gently inserted it into the keyhole. It's stiff. If I twist it too strongly, I might break the key. The moment I thought of giving up, I felt something in my fingertips. The key worked. I slowly opened the door. I can hear the crickets. I don't have to hesitate now, but somehow I'm reluctant to step outside. I can still make excuses up to this point. It might look awkward, but I still can. But if I take a step outside now, there can be no excuse. If the guards find me, they'll take me to the office immediately. There have been escape attempts before. That's not really so strange. I don't think I'm the only heathen here. It's understandable that there have been people before who couldn't fit in this place. So the school is well aware of the possibility of escapees. I've heard rumors about what happened to those who were caught while attempting to escape. I don't want to believe any of those stories, but... You see, all the school's horror stories involve students who attempted escapes. Whatever, bring it on. Ooh, okay, this music? I'm not expecting to get a second chance anyway. There will always be only one chance. Things get serious beyond this door. I psyched myself up and pushed the door open. A strong smell was hanging in the air. Is that normal for the outside? Damn, this music! This is a bop. I'd never smelled this strong, grassy smell before. Is there something going on? Do I have to be wary of it? Should I go back and wait for another chance? That's silly. There's nothing strange going on. The smell is something I smell every day. I just wasn't aware of it. It's true, isn't it? Even though I pretend to be cool, I'm nothing but a nervous wreck. Calm down. Calm down, Shion. I can rely only on the map inside my head from this point onward. I'd researched the locations of all the surveillance cameras. I'm confident that I'll be able to avoid all of them, but I'm not sure about the guards. They pick their patrol routes randomly after all. I have to take a chance. I can hide myself in most places, but there's an area where there's nowhere to hide for several meters. I concentrate to keep my senses keen. Well, I have to depend on my luck in the end. Even if I do my best, the guard might find me by mere chance. On the contrary, I might be able to get away no matter how unwisely I choose to move if I'm lucky. Damn, after all this effort, it just boils down to luck? Haha, this is a gamble after all. When I realized that, I got excited. Yes, this is a gamble. I'm trying my luck. This is a game to test the determination to change my life. If somebody failed to escape from the school, that meant they didn't have enough luck to survive in the real world. But I'm different. I'm going to get out of here. I'm testing my luck. Here goes, Shion. I ignored the noisy bugs and concentrated only on suspicious sounds. I heard no threats. The loudest sound wasn't the bugs, it was my own heartbeat. Crunch. Even my own footsteps were so loud they could break my eardrums. With each and every step, my overactive imagination tormented me with premonitions of unexpected run-ins with guards. Countless times that torture grew too hard to bear, and I thought of running. But if I broke into a run, the noise I made would only draw suspicion. If anyone heard running at the time and place where people shouldn't be, they would realize something abnormal was happening. But if the footsteps they heard were just walking, then they'd likely think nothing of it. Of course, I don't plan on even letting them hear those footsteps. I try to extend my senses to get as much information as possible. I didn't sense anyone's presence. This reminds me very much of Keiichi when he was, that night that he killed Sadako's uncle, where it's like very just all hyper aware of his senses. It's very intense. I might have felt safer if I heard a guard in the distance. I'm worried my senses might not be keen enough to detect everything. Somebody might be right behind me without me being aware of it. I didn't want to make any noise, so I stopped from time to time. It's like I'm constantly fidgeting. To stop or to run. Something within me urged me to choose from either one. I can't choose to stop. I have to keep going quickly and stealthily. I'm already risking so much just by being here. Running, of course, would be absurd. I know that. The urge to run continued to bug me. My head was filled with those thoughts as I went through this dangerous territory. I succeeded in passing through without running into anybody. I couldn't help but sit for a moment and exhale the rotten air from my lungs. My negative thoughts vanished quickly. Just a little more to go. Just a little more. Just through that bush over there is the fence that separates this place and the outside world. Once again, I strongly felt the urge to run. I suppressed that desire and carefully tackled the final step. The beautiful-looking fence didn't seem designed to prevent escapes. While I was worried somebody might see me climbing up the fence, it fortunately didn't happen. It's even possible this fence might have a touch sensor. It's too late now. It doesn't mean anything now since I'm already climbing up. From the top, the fence seemed about 7 feet high. I have to go down carefully, just like when I climbed up. I knew that logically, but I couldn't think that way anymore. I chose to jump off with no hesitation. Of course, I regretted my decision during the fall. I got scared because the flight was longer than I expected. I didn't land beautifully. I fell onto my butt. But there was nobody around to laugh, and I didn't have time to be embarrassed. I looked around to see if anyone heard my landing. Even the crickets weren't interested in the sound I made. I felt relieved. I looked at my watch. 5 minutes till 8 p.m. It was just a 15-minute escape. Putting a number to it really made it obvious how short it had been. Looking back, most of the time I was just asking myself questions and hesitating. I guess I worried too much, but I can't be too relaxed just yet. There's no guarantee that I fooled all the cameras. This place isn't a bank. There won't be a fire alarm going off even if the guards did see me. It's possible they're rushing this way right now. I can't enjoy the air of freedom yet. I hid myself in the darkness and waited. There's still time left until the rendezvous. Alright, okay. Very Shion-like beginning for her to just basically just be a little rebel. I watched the school premises while waiting, but it looked like nothing strange was going on. The building was lit up, and the beautiful Western-style architecture made it hard to believe that this was a school. It should be armed with electrifying wires, searchlights, and guard dogs like the prison it is. I thought I'd experience a surge of school memories in a situation like this, but it didn't happen. That sort of thing only happens when you have good memories. I have no good memories of this school, so there's nothing to remember. But if I could pick a series of images to recall, it'd be the luxurious dinners we had every night. So my memories would be nothing but international cuisine, Japanese, Chinese, French, and so on. What the hell? That's just too funny. I burst into laughter. At that point, I heard a car approaching. I crouched in the darkness. The plate number is the same as I was expecting. That's the car. I jumped out and rushed to the passenger side, then opened the door and got in.
Shion-san.
Oh, it's good to have some talking. Someone else talking. My goodness, my throat from all that talking. The driver was a man of early old age. He'd be angry if he heard me say that, though. He thinks he's still middle-aged. He looked at my face and learned I succeeded. He smiled.
シャバの空気は久しぶり。とにかく今は銀シャリが食いたいかな。
学園では上品なお料理ばかりが出てると聞いてましたが、シオンさんにだけは麦飯が出ていたんですか？
バカ、そんなわけないでしょ。冗談に決まってるじゃない。ほら、笑ってる暇があったらとっととアクセルを吹かす。
はいはい、仰せのままに。
Happy music. Kasai really... Yeah, first name, and I'm just like, I don't know. Kasai really did laugh out loud. After telling me to buckle up, he accelerated. The cathedral-like school disappeared from the mirror in an instant. It disappeared so quick I didn't have time for a surge of dinner memories. Goodbye, my lovely school days. Haha, I'm gonna fill my stomach with junk food from now on. I'll forever be free from the table manners you taught me. Haha, serves you right. As we drove, the scenery began to change. Soon we were surrounded by vast fields of crops and few street lights. It reminded me this was just the countryside of Japan, not Europe.
お腹は空いてないですか？どこか飯の食えるところへ寄りましょうか？
食事してるからいい。
I lied. I'm actually a bit hungry. I didn't eat much at dinner to avoid slowing myself down with full stomach. I appreciated Kasai's offer, but I didn't feel like taking the time to eat while we were still in enemy territory.
この時間ですから、高速に上がってしまうとサービスエリアへ寄っても自販機しかないですよ。まあ最近はハンバーガーとかの自販機もありますけどね。そうそう、聞いた話では最近じゃおでんの自販機もあるって話です。
はあ？何それ？コーヒーの自動販売機みたいに器がポロッと出てきて押したボタンの具がボトボトっと落ちてくるわけ？気持ち悪い。
そういうのじゃないらしいですよ。おでんの缶詰になってるそうで。
あ、ごめん。缶詰はパス。
缶詰、もう子供じゃないでしょうに。
嫌なもんは嫌なの。うっさいな。もう何笑ってんの？
Kasai chuckled. He must have been trying to help me relax. He isn't usually so talkative.
私疲れちゃったよ。少し寝させてもらいます。これ、リクライニングどうやって倒すの？
そっちの左側の根元を探ってみてください。レバーみたいなのがありませんか？
うん。あったあった。よっこらしょっと。
Kasai laughed again.
何か面白いこと私。
いえいえ、よっこらしょなんていう若くない言葉遣いがどことなくミオンさんに似ておられたもので。
Well, obviously. Mion and I are identical twins. We're perfect copies of each other. When I react to something, so will Mion. When Mion reacts to something in a certain situation, I'll react the same way.
お姉は元気？
多分元気かと。私も親族会議の席に親父さんをお連れするときに少しすれ違う程度ですし。
そっか。お姉はもう実家じゃないんだったね。南沢のばあさんのとこだっけ？
シオンさんが学園に入られるのと一緒の時期に園崎本家に移られました。
Yeah, so based on like chapter 4 where Mion looked quite young and she was living in the main house. So we gotta assume Shion has been in this school for quite a while. I responded with disinterest even though I was the one to ask about her in the first place. The main house is where Oreo, the current leader of the Sonozaki family, lives. That's my grandma, who I call a hag. But when we use the phrase the main house, that usually means more than just a dwelling. What Kasai refers to is the same thing.
少しは変わった？
ミオンさんがですか？
そう。あのばあさんと朝から晩まで顔を合わせてりゃ少しは変わるでしょ。
Kasai chuckled yet again. He knows I hate my grandma.
私が見る限り変わったようには感じません。
I mean, I wouldn't be a big fan of my grandma either if she shipped me off to some private school and I never got to see my family. And also, you know, the knowledge that Shion, I'm sure, has that she's the lesser twin, the lesser sister, and she's a mistake, basically.
シオンさんの知っているミオンさんのままですよ。
私はどう？私は変わった？
いいえ、全然。
Kasai responded quickly with a smirk. I haven't seen him for a while, though. It's not fun if he answers this quickly. I glared at him, and then he burst out laughing.
全然変わっておられませんよ。あれだけのお嬢様学校に入られたのに全く変わらないというのは驚くに値します。
チェー、好きなだけ笑ってろ。私は寝るよ、寝る。
後ろの席に毛布がありますよ。使ってください。
うん、ありがとう。
I grabbed the blanket and rolled up in it. I'm exhausted, but I can't go to sleep. It's strange. Or maybe not. I must be tired from the escape. It's just that I'm still feeling tense. So I have to declare it once again, if only to calm myself.
寝る。私は寝るよ。
はいはい、さっきからもう3回目です。それとも私が許可しないと寝れないんですか？
今日のあんたは喋りすぎ。あんたが少し黙っててくんないと眠気も引っ込んじゃう。
失礼しました、姫君。ではしばらく黙らせてもらいます。
This interaction with Kasai reminded me of the old peaceful days in Okonomiya. Well, I don't really know if I can call those days peaceful. We were in the middle of the dam protests back then, after all. We all united together, and now that I think about it, we pulled a lot of pretty dangerous stunts. If the authorities ever found out what we did, I'd never escape going to juvie. Well, at least half the people in Hinamizawa would be off to prison. We didn't think of them as criminal acts, though. It was war. It might also have been a festival. A festival where every person in Hinamizawa joined together in protest. It was a struggle, but it was also fun. It was fun to throw stones at the SWAT team with everybody. We hid ourselves in somebody's home when they chased after us. We'd even go crowd around the police station demanding the release of our arrested comrades. When we snuck into the construction site and sabotaged it, it felt more like we were playing at war than conducting one. I got so excited back then. I felt united with my fellow members even though they were strangers to me, and that memory warms my heart. That's kind of a weird childhood memories, but, you know, I guess for Shion, who always felt like an outsider, something where she feels like she's part of a group, I can understand why she has good memories of that. Yes, the way it felt back then was like helping everyone to carry a sacred palanquin through the village, getting all sweaty and exhausted together, until we all collapsed face first on the ground and shared our excitement and cheers with unfamiliar faces over tea. I was just a kid back then. I remembered accompanying young men who worked for my dad out to the village to do various bad things. I was arrested a few times. It didn't feel any different, though, than when I was called to the teacher's office for forgetting my homework. The other villagers were furious about the dam project. But for those of us who were kids at the time, it's a pretty fun memory. All that came to a sudden end a few years ago. It wasn't only the power of the protest that ended the dam construction project. The Sonozaki family and my dad's organization had worked secretly in the shadows. This is top secret information in the Sonozaki family, but oh, the kidnapping. It said they may or may not have kidnapped the Minister of Construction's grandson in order to blackmail him. The grandson was found a few days later after the abduction. He was found in the mountains of Yokochi. He didn't simply disappear, and he wasn't demoned away. That means some kind of deal was made secretly. A year after that, the dam construction plan was halted indefinitely. The police suspected the villagers' involvement and investigated, but they couldn't find any leads. The villagers never betrayed each other. They'd do anything to protect their fellow man. They fabricated fake alibis and fake evidence. It was easy to deceive the police. Gah. The car suddenly shook, snapping me out of it. It must have run over a bump or something. I suddenly realized my expression was a very happy one for some reason. Oh, I must be looking forward to going home.
Shion-san, 起きてますか?
何？
お帰りですが、沖宮でよろしいですよね?
他にどこに帰んのよ。
I answered straightforwardly with a frown. Kasai then also chose to reply straightforwardly.
シオンさんを全寮制の学園に入学させる決定は園崎本家当主が下したものです。シオンさんはその学園を抜け出した。どういうことかお分かりですね。
ばあさんの決めた学校が私に合わなかったってだけでしょ。
シオンさん。
待ってるって。うっさいな。
As the head of the Sonozaki family, the hag's decisions are absolute. They're nothing like, say, the 3-second rule. Worse, the decision to confine me to an academy far away from the Sonozaki family was made before I was even born. Yep, here we go about how she is like, they don't want her around. Shion was the name they gave me. My sister Mion had a character that means demon in her name. That was to signify she's the successor of demons. In other words, she would be the successor to the Sonozaki family and its demonic bloodline. My name, Shion, has a character that means temple in it. This means I was destined to take the veil and be confined in a temple. Thinking of that reminds me of how much I hate this name of mine. For starters, the person known as Shion is an abominable being to the Sonozaki family, because it meant the family had 2 heirs. I don't have to cite the countless historical examples to explain. It's easy to imagine how that could prove troublesome for succession. According to our long-held family traditions, one of the twins was to be strangled to death right after birth. Unbelievable, isn't it? What that means is that I have to be grateful just to be alive and breathing to this day. I heard the hag actually put her hands around my neck right after I was born. Damn! Damn, she's cold. I don't know what exchange took place in that moment. Maybe some brave relative of mine managed to get her to stop. Or maybe she was in an extremely good mood that day. That's pretty bad when extremely good mood is, I guess I won't choke this baby to death today. Then don't try to strangle me. We're twins. There were no apparent differences between us. But the first one out of my mom's stomach was named Mion, and the second one drew the short straw and got named Shion. Everyone else was desperate to tell us apart, but we sisters just found that awfully ridiculous. There wasn't any difference between us. No one could tell us apart, even if we only swapped hats. We wonder why all the grown-ups were trying to see the differences. Like, it seems right now, I don't know what happened in the couple of... I don't know how long this took place before the events of the question arcs, but, like, Shion seems to love her sister a lot. And not to say she didn't in the question arcs, but it seems like there's no animosity, that she has this jealousy about why Mion is so special and she's like the, unwanted one. Our fun as twins didn't last forever. One day they created an undeniable, clear distinction between Mion and Shion. Mion went to the main Sonozaki house to live with the hag and learn how to become the successor, and I was to be confined at St. Lucia's. I have no objections to Sis's inheritance. I used to be jealous, but now I feel having to learn about and follow the traditions would just make me tired. I even feel sorry for Mion. So I'm not going to be a threat to the family, even if I'm back in Okonomiya. But the hag doesn't seem to think that way. She thinks of me as some kind of evil omen. That's why she wanted to keep me away from her. That doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see her face either. I don't care if she doesn't allow me to enter Hinamizawa. She can charge me 10,000 yen per step I take there. But I want her to let me live in Okonomiya, where I grew up. When I was little, I was in Hinamizawa, but I don't remember it much. And I'm not very attached to it. I do have good memories of my elementary school days in Okonomiya. The town isn't very sophisticated, but I kind of like it there.
沖宮の町へ帰れば親族の誰かの目に触れることになります。やがては必ず本家の知るところになります。
ばあさんの耳に入ったらどうなるかってこと？まあそりゃあやばいことにはなるかもね。
お分かりならいいんですがね。
なーに、葛西。あんた今から私に引き返してあそこへ戻れって言ってるわけ？
まさか。そんなことは言いませんよ。私が言いたいのは
相応の覚悟はあるんだろうなってことでしょ。
口先だけでなく本当に理解してるんならいいんですがね。
まあそうだろうね。万が一の時は脱走の手伝いをした葛西も責任は免れないだろうしね。葛西も小指に未練があるなら今のうちに小指にいっぱいキスをしておいた方がいいんじゃない？
その時はシオンさんもすまきにされて鬼ヶ淵沼に放り込まれるくらいの覚悟をしてくださいよ。ああ、あるいは本家離れの秘密部屋送りかも。
The mention of the torture room, okay. I heard there's a big torture room in the main Sonozaki house. I've never seen it though. I heard they used to torture and kill the enemies of the village in there. It's just awful, really. I hope I don't end up as a victim of that place. Oh boy, this sounds like some pretty bad foreshadowing.
はいはい。ま、なんとかなるって。
And then the happy music right after that. I hope I don't end up being a torture victim.
つくづくシオンさんは姉さんに似ている。その出たとこ勝負的なところが特にです。
そりゃ似るでしょ。実際の母親だもん。
My dad and mom will be furious if they find out about my escape. I'm more afraid of them than of the hag. I don't want to go into the details, but my dad is part of the Yakuza. He's in charge of the organization which covers the Shishibona area. He's in a very important position. So is Kasai here. He's an old friend of Dad who really trusts him. I don't know if it's true, but I heard Kasai used to be very aggressive, though he's gentle now. I also heard he has a ton of scars. He was in charge of a few large areas, but after he was injured badly in a fight, he retired. Now he's my dad's consultant, aka drinking buddy. He was my caretaker in my childhood, and now I feel like he's my butler. At first, I thought my dad asked him to supervise me, so I hated him. But in time, I started to feel like he was on my side. This is just a hunch, but I think Kasai used to be in love with my mom. My dad, mom, and Kasai were in a love triangle. Though my dad took the lead in the end. Kasai couldn't leave my mom entirely, so he stayed around as my dad's friend. I can tell that from the way he acts. He's seeing my mom and me. Uh-oh. Oh boy. No bad touchies. No bad touchies. That's why he says he looks like my mom every now and then. It kind of gave me the creeps at first, but he isn't a bad guy at all. He's actually pretty funny. I only found that out after I got used to him. So when I thought about escaping, I naturally turned to him. I contacted him in an early stage of my plan and arranged to meet him today. You could call him a conspirator. It's not surprising he's worried about my return to Okonomiya. Considering the rules and traditions, cutting off his pinky finger isn't far from reality. Ha! I might be rolled up in a futon mat and thrown in the swamp for real, too. Even so, there's only one place for me to return. I'm going to Okonomiya and nowhere else. That's my hometown. This might be kind of homesickness, but I don't care what it looks like.
実際どうするつもりです。園崎一族の目はそこいら中にありますよ。
まあ最初はのんびり隠れながら過ごします。 仮に姿を見られたってミヨンだって言い張ればいいんだしね。
それから？
で、ほとぼりが冷めてきたら私に近しい親類から徐々に打ち明けていく。私に味方になってくれる人たちだってそこそこにいるからね。私も親父と大喧嘩した時、あちこちでいろんな人にかくまってもらったし。
なるほど。味方と既成事実を十分に作り上げてから最終的には園崎本家にもおめこぼしをもらおうというつもりですね。うまくいきますかどうか。
行くって。そもそも私を学園送りにする決定だって結構みんな反対してくれてたもんね。あれは私をやたらと嫌ったばあさんの猜疑心からの決定みたいなもんだったし、葛西もそう思うでしょ？
ええ、まあ私もあの決定にはさすがにやりすぎとは思いました。
ばあさんはあれこれ余計なこと考えすぎて正常な思考なんかできなくなってんの。あのダム戦争で神経張り詰めっぱなしだったから、まだその時の興奮が抜けきってないんじゃないかな。ったく。
Kasai smiled. I couldn't go to sleep after all, even though I was rolled up in a blanket. Even though I told Kasai to shut up, I kept talking to him. In time, I got tired of talking. As I could feel the car run smoothly on the highway, Kasai spoke to me again.
Shion-san, ほら。
I was so tired that I ignored him. I wonder what he wanted me to look at, but I wasn't that interested. Yet I opened my eyes slightly and saw a sign quickly pass by. Kasai probably wanted me to see that sign. It had an illustration of azaleas around the letters that said, "Welcome to Shishibone City. My hometown is coming right up." Oh. This is a little different. Oh my gosh, there's like intro credits? This feels too lighthearted for, I'm sure, the horribleness that will be happening later. I don't know how much later, because I don't know how long this chapter is, but... Alright, the notebook's beginning. June 1982. Satoshi Hojo disappeared several days after the Watanagashi festival. Oh dang, okay, we're getting right into Satoshi here. That's another thing, we need to figure out what happened to Satoshi. There were 3 possible reasons for his disappearance. One possibility is that it was an accident. Dead bodies sometimes end up in irrigation channels a few months after hit-and-run incidents. But since the police did a thorough search of the area and hadn't found his body, this possibility seems small. The second possibility is a self-motivated disappearance. Satoshi-kun had been living in dire circumstances. His close friends actually heard him imply he might run away. The police thought he skipped town after killing his aunt. That seemed plausible considering that aspect. But the police arrested another person for the murder, so this hypothesis must also be considered false. The last possibility is he was involved in a series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. It's also called the Curse of Oyashiro-sama. He fell victim to it and disappeared. Unless Oyashiro-sama's occult power is actually verified, this curse must be the act of humans. It's only natural to assume Satoshi-kun was made to disappear by someone's will. Alright, so now we're getting into the whole thing about, like, is it a curse? Is it humans? That's another thing I really want to find out. I'm so excited that I finally get to find out what's going on eventually. So the question is, whose? The possibilities are quite limited. The culprit is either a member of the Sonozaki family, a member of the 3 families, or one of their many relatives. The police can assume that easily. I need to think beyond that. Who did it, how did it happen, and why did it have to be done? Why did Satoshi-kun fall victim? What was the motive? Who gave out that order? Who actually did it? The mastermind, the culprit, and the truth. are all in reach of my grasp. And here's the thing, is who's writing in this notebook? I'm gonna guess it's Takano, based on, like, the previous chapters where it was pretty obvious Takano was the one who was writing in the book. Maybe I'll find them right behind my back. But even so, I can't reach everywhere. There are parts of my back I have to make an effort to reach, clenching my teeth and cracking my joints so the tips of my fingers can barely touch them. The truth is hidden in... It could also be Akasaka, but I don't know how he would really know about Satoshi. Like, that's something that I feel like people in the village would be more interested in, where Akasaka, he's got, like, a whole... He's got more of a wide breadth he has to, you know, focus on, but... It could be Akasaka, because this is speaking like a detective almost, rather than just someone who's interested in this stuff. I'm writing this because I need to organize my thoughts and memories. Nobody will read it other than myself. But if somebody does, that means that either I threw these notes away because I no longer needed them, or I fell victim to the curse of Oyashiro-sama in the middle of my attempt to solve the mystery. Okay, that makes me think it's not Akasaka. If it was the former, that's okay. But if it was the latter... Please, I want you to help me. Please help this powerless... Oh! It's Rika! Please help this powerless young girl. Is it Rika? Or are they talking about please help this powerless young girl? Are they talking about Sadako? Oh, so many mysteries already. Okay. Anyway, let's get on with it. Okay, 1982. So it's the year before Keiichi showed up, right? If I'm not oh, here it is. The 5th year of the series of Mysterious Deaths in Hinazawa, also known as Oyashiro-sama's Curse, 1 year prior to Keiichi Maibara's transfer. Alright, so he's not going to be in this at all. I didn't hear a wake-up chime. I'm not in school anymore. My brain is half asleep, and I'm aware of that. Waking up at the same time as the chime would go off at school doesn't feel good. I can't go back to sleep after this. Still, I'm not going to live a torturous school life anymore. I can make today either happy or boring. It's up to me. That's really positive. I feel like I'm alive for the first time in a while. I didn't have any other clothes, so I was still wearing the school track uniform. It's supposed to have been designed by some famous Italian person, but it just looks plain to me. It really doesn't feel great to still be in clothes from that school. I want to enjoy my freedom as soon as possible. I especially don't want to walk around outside wearing it. I should have Kasai bring me some new clothes later. And I should think of redecorating this room. After all, this is going to be my castle from now on. This is a room in a gorgeous apartment building in the suburbs of Okonomiya. Oh, this must be the same building that Mion supposedly pushed her out of at the end of the 2nd chapter. The property is one a realtor and my dad's conglomerate obtained after foreclosure due to some sort of dispute. Most of the residents moved out during that. So while there are plenty of rooms, it's a lonely complex that feels devoid of people. Plus, with the exception of the manager and a scant 1 or 2 others, all the residents are shady-looking people connected to my dad. It probably won't be much longer before the virtuous residents are driven out. The apartment I'm living in used to be the room they'd use for viewings, so it looks like a room in a business hotel. It's fully furnished, but lacking in daily necessities. I'll buy those things over time, though.
むしろその方がいいよね。自分の部屋っていう実感が湧くし。
I nodded to myself. It might have looked stupid, but it helped psych me up. At the school, there was a TV only in the common room, and we weren't allowed to watch any cable channels. I zapped through all those channels as a form of emancipation. It was early in the morning, so nothing interesting was on. But I enjoyed it anyway. Commercials are fun to watch. Kasai dropped by with lunch right when I started to feel hungry.
Shion さん、おはようございます。ゆうべはよく眠れましたか？
ソファーに毛布でゴロ寝は結構辛いです。やっぱ日本人はちゃんと布団敷いて床に寝ないとね。たくあんが美味しい。
それはよかった。後で必要なものを教えてください。可能な限り揃えるようにします。
ありがとう。あ、でもそんなに気を使わないでいいです。私の好きで始めた生活だし。葛西だってたかられたらお財布持たないでしょ
I have to be serious about my plan. I can't let myself take advantage of Kasai's wallet forever.
バイトでもしようと思います。生活費くらいは自分で稼がないとね。
Oh, that's probably how she ended up at the cafe, right?
私が選んだ生活なんだから、 自分で何とかするのは当然。
それはたくましい限りです。でもいいんですか？外を歩けばやがては親族の誰かに見つかりますよ。
そこは少しは考えてある。そこでミオンの力がいるわけよ。葛西さ、本家に電話してもらっていい？ミオンが出たら受話器変わって。
やれやれ、何を企んでるやら。どういう作戦ですか？
Kasai dialed the number. It's funny to me we're calling the main house, even though that's the place I most want to avoid at the moment.
もしもし。
Ah, Mion!
おはようございます。
My fave.
ミオンさんですか？ご無沙汰しています。葛西です。ええ、おはようございます。少しお待ちいただけますか？今受話器を代わります。
I take the handset.
もしもし。
Oh.
私が誰だかわかります。その声は。でもそんなはずは。シオンの寮は使用電話禁止だったはず。そんなはずはない。学園では外部との電話は禁止だからね。それが電話してきたってことは血の巡りの悪いお姉でも意味がわかるでしょ？
No, well, that sounds like the Shion Mion back and forth that I'm used to.
あんた学園抜け出したの？どうやって？そんなことはどうでもいい。会いたかったですよ、お姉。
That was as far as we could take it, and Mion had her limit too. Oh, I thought that they were... Okay. I thought that they were about to cry, not laugh. We both burst into laughter, unable to keep up our act. It's been a while since we laughed out loud with each other like this. I have a feeling that these happy feelings between them are not gonna last. Now, whether it's Mion who goes after Shion like Chapter 2, or if it's vice versa, Shion kind of getting her revenge, that I don't know yet.
別に私は嘘を吐いてないです。じゃああんた本当に脱走したの？やる。私を閉じ込めておくにはちょっと警備が甘かったかもね。学園はシオンが穏便に脱走したことに感謝するべきかもね。本気のシオンだったら全施設を爆破してから脱走するくらい朝飯前かも。爆破はできないけど放火くらいはやるかもね。
Kasai smiled at us in amazement, his face a blend of amusement and exasperation.
おね、今は電話大丈夫なの？大丈夫。バッチャはお稽古に行っちゃってる。今日は帰りは夕方になるって言ってた。それは好都合。近いうちに会って話をしましょうね。とりあえず今日のところは電話で。うん。本家に学園から私が脱走したっていう連絡は来てます？んや、来てない。本家の電話も来客も全部私が通すから、私を素通りしてバッチャに連絡行くことはない。だから来てないって断言できると思う。ほう、そりゃすごい。さすが園崎本家次期当主。私はそんなの嫌だよ。シオンが変わってよ。鬼がついてるのはお姉でしょ。まあせいぜい頑張ってください。陰ながら応援いたしております。まあそんなことはどうでもいいや。すごい人事っぽい言い方だな。まあいいや。私関連で何か動きがあったら葛西に連絡をよろです。ここの番号はお姉には教えてもいいかなと思うけど、しばらくは内緒にしときますね。ごめん。そうだね。学園脱走したって話がバッチャの耳に入ったらいろいろ面倒になると思うよ。
Well, I feel it's only a matter of time. I know she said that whole thing about, like, if she ran off with the teacher, they weren't going to say anything because it would bring shame to the school, but I don't know. I feel like at some point they're going to have to, because at some point I would imagine, you know, someone from the family might want to check in on Shion and they'd be like, oh yeah, she's not here, and that would be even worse for them.
連絡の件は了解。何か動きがあったら葛西さんに伝えとく。ありがとうです。それとあとお姉にお願いがあるんだけど。そう来ると思った。あ、お金は無理だよ。 さすがにお金を無心できるとは思ってません。お姉にはちょっと私のバイトのお手伝いをお願いしたいんです。
なるほどね。そういうことか。で、具体的にはどうするの？
We can communicate fast in a situation like this. We don't have to get into details because we know what's on each other's minds.
吉郎おじさん、私の味方だったじゃないですか。吉郎おじさんの持ってるお店のどれかでバイトできないか打診してみます。で、シフトが決まったらお姉に連絡しますから。
あんたがバイトしてる時間帯には消えてりゃいいわけだね。めんどくさい役だな。
何ですかお姉、双子の妹の頼みを断る？本当に？
いいよいいよ、引き受けるよ。あんたの頼みは断ると後が嫌だ。
Oh boy, is that more foreshadowing?
サンキューです。今度シュランクベルタのケーキでもおごるから。かわいいタルト山ほど食べさせてあげますから。
あ、シオン、シュランクベルタね。去年の秋に店閉じちゃったんだよ。
え？あ、そうなんだ。
うん。マスターが脳梗塞で倒れてね、退院してから一度は店を開けたんだけど、やっぱり体が持たないらしくてさ、惜しまれたけど閉店しちゃったわけ。
そっか、そりゃあ残念です。欲張りモンブランをお腹いっぱい食べる夢はもう夢のままで終わっちゃったんですね。
I was disappointed my favorite cake shop had closed down, but more so this town had changed without my knowing while I was gone. It was kind of regrettable.
他にも変わったこと、私の知らないことある？
うん、いくつかある。今度会ったら全部話すね。
ありがとう。私も学園で見てきたこと、近いうちに機会を設けましょう。追ってこっちから連絡します。
うん、わかった。
ミオン？
何？
元気でやってる？
もちろん。
ならよかった。切るよ。
うん、じゃあね。
It's really been a while since I last talked to her. I put down the phone and heaved a sigh as Kasai... His name is still throwing me off. I've heard them say his name multiple times, and yet I can't seem to get... Kasai brought in some tea.
結局どういう話になったんですか？
吉郎おじさん、私のことを可愛がっててくれたじゃない？おじさんにね、私が学園を抜け出してきたのを打ち明けようと思います。で、おじさんの持ってるお店のどれかでささやかに働かせてもらえたらなって。
人目に触れますよ。吉郎さんはいいとしても。
そのためのお姉ってわけよ。私が働く時間が決まったらお姉に連絡する。で、お姉は私が働いている時間にはちょっと人目を忍んでくれればいいわけ。わかる？
Kasai looked puzzled. It's not really that difficult to grasp.
つまり簡単。バイト中に私が何か咎められるようなことになったら、私がミオンだと言い張ればいいだけの話なんです。わかり？
Normal people wouldn't buy this kind of plan. But Kasai knows too well how easy it is for my sis and me to trade places.
つくづく大胆というか、悪知恵が働くというか。いやいや。
もちろん褒め言葉だよね、笠井。
Kasai looked amazed. If things go south, it'll affect him too. Considering the rules of my dad's profession, he won't be able to get away with just a mere apology. That's why he doesn't want me to do anything too risky. I think I have to make it up to him, since he helped me escape even knowing that risk. Yep, there it is.
ああ、任せとけよ。シオンちゃんのことをどうのこうの言うやつがいたら、俺
やっぱ吉郎おじさんは頼りになります。おじさんならきっと助けてくれると思ってました。
Uncle Yoshiro pounded his chest with his fist after offering me his assurance. He seemed glad I turned to him first.
いいんだよ。俺はシオンちゃんの自分の生活費は自分で稼ぎたいっていう気概に感心してるんだ。金をたかりに来たんだったら本家に突き出してるところだぜ。
ああ、おじさん怖い。
I knew he was reliable. He understood my situation straight away and promised to help.
店長、シフト表持ってきました。ここに置きますね。
One of the store clerks brought out a work schedule. There were many things I'm unfamiliar with written on it.
で、シオンちゃんはどのくらい働けるんだい？
私とお姉の都合次第か。できたら私の指定する日だけ入れるのが一番いいんですが。
おいおい、そんな虫のいいこと言うやつ面接じゃ会ったことないぜ。まあな、仕方ないもんな。
I'm depending on Mion for my work. Our schedules have to match. Of course, Uncle Yoshiro understood that. But I also knew he couldn't afford a selfish part-timer who only works when she wants to. In the end, he decided to hire me as an office helper, not an official worker. As a temp, I wouldn't have a work schedule. My uncle also decided to pay me out of his own pocket.
生活費が稼げればそれで OK です。
じゃあ、そういうことで頼むぜ。一応金を払うんだから仕事中はしっかり頼むぜ。あと事務所内じゃおじさんは勘弁な。
はいはい、分かってますよ。ふつつか者ですけどよろしくお願いします。
こちらこそどうぞよろしく。
Once all the business talk was over, my uncle hounded me with all kinds of questions. He asked me things like, what was it like in a prestigious girls' boarding school? And so on. Apparently, there were all kinds of rumors going on about the St. Lucia Academy I was confined to, and everyone was curious about it. I added a few embellishments of my own as I explained how unordinary life at that school was. My uncle looked extremely delighted to hear all the little details about life in a secret garden for girls. Horny bastard. Ugh, dude, that's your niece. Once my uncle was satisfied, it was my turn to ask all kinds of questions. And even if so, it's like, yes, I get it, they do say up to university, but still, that's mostly like high school girls and like middle school, so, ew. I mean, I guess with the kind of place he's running, I shouldn't be surprised. I wanted to know if anything peculiar had happened while I was gone. I won't be able to act like Mion unless I can fill in the gap of information left in the past 2 years.
そんなに大きく変わったことはないな。
It was only 2 years? I guess I would have assumed it would be longer.
ダム戦争が終わってからこっちはもうそりゃのんびりしたもんさ。
私はダムの計画中止が発表されて少ししてから学園に行ったからな。私がこっちにいた時はまだほんの少しピリピリしたムードが残ってましたよ。
中止発表の後の1年くらいは同盟も計画は凍結されただけで中止になったわけじゃないって言って神経質になってたんだけどな。翌年には解散式をやったよ。ひなみ沢の境内で大式典だった。それでダム戦争は本当に終わりだな。
じゃあ私が閉じ込められたすぐ後だ。戦争も終わっちゃってみんなふぬけちゃった感じ？
しおんちゃんなんかはダム戦争は戦争ごっこみたいで楽しかったんじゃないか。子供たちが警察のお世話になるたびに引き取りに行っていろいろいじめられた大人の身にもなってくれよ。
まあ確かに否定はできないかな。私ら子供にとってはダム戦争はかなり遊べるイベントでしたし。
Uncle Yoshiro seemed exasperated how differently kids and adults treated the conflict.
そういえばバラバラ殺人なんてのがありましたよね。
Oh, here we go. We're getting into the dark stuff now.
あのクソムカつく現場監督の野郎がバラバラにされたやつ。あれ確か犯人がまだ全員捕まってなかったですよね。捕まったんですか？
ああ、確か初犯がまだ捕まってねえんだよな。そうそう、確か捕まってないはず。
しかもひなみ沢の守り神お社様を祀る綿流しの晩にね。当時お社様のたたりだって騒がれたのを覚えてます。あれ子供的には結構怖かったな。
ああ、お社様のたたりね。その翌年にも起きたんだよな。
そうそう、あれも怖かったですね。何でしたっけ、ダムの賛成派の男が事故で死んだやつ。北条だっけ。しかもまたしてもお社様を祀る綿流しの日に。これはもうたたりしかありえないってずいぶん騒いだっけ。あれは怖かったです。うんうん。
The construction manager that everyone hated was killed and dismembered on the night of the Watanagashi festival. That incident on its own was more than intense enough for us kids. Worse, part of his body was never found, which made it almost a ghost story amongst us. We seriously believed the severed right arm was roaming in search of the body it belonged to. It didn't take long for the rumor of Oyashiro-sama's curse to become a topic of discussion among occult researchers and the like, considering the circumstantial factors. Even so, the rumor faded away after about a year. After the dam project was officially frozen, we held Watanagashi purely as a festival. But the curse struck again. The victim was a pro-dam activist who lived in Hinamizawa by the name of Hojo. He and his wife were on a trip when they fell from the cliff to their deaths. It was considered an accident. Technically, police were still searching for the wife's body. If I remember right, they never did find it, did they? Once again, the man most worthy of Oishiro-sama's curse fell victim on the night of the Watanagashi festival. So the fuss over Oishiro-sama's curse rose up again. Until then, Oishiro-sama wasn't considered very important. At least in the world of us kids, it was just the name of the object of worship in the shrine, nothing more than that. I'd seen boys peeing on the archway, and I once stuck my hand into the, offertory box. The existence of a god didn't matter much to us. But after 2 consecutive occurrences, the kids no longer doubted the existence of a curse. We were all shaking in fear of Oishiro-sama. Everybody suddenly became interested in the old stories about him, too. We quietly listened to the musty old stories the elders had to tell, and we started genuinely believing in the tales of Oishiro-sama's miracles, which any of us would have laughed away before, so maybe whoever is doing this is someone who is, like, obsessed with making people interested and believe in Oishiro-sama again? I don't know. It seems a little drastic, though. Oishiro-sama's rules were awfully simple and clear. Enemies treading into Hinamizawa will be cursed. Villagers leaving the village will be cursed. What defined the village was terribly vague. Were we never allowed to leave Hinamizawa village? Was going to Okonomiya still safe? Was a single step enough to be out? Was a 3-day, 2-night hot spring trip still safe? We kids tried to draw a line. It was decided in the end, if you had a house in Hinamizawa or Okonomiya, you were safe. And it was okay to go on trips if you had a house in either area. I know it's weird, but those rules were made up by kids after all. According to those rules, I'd be cursed since I lived at a boarding school in such a remote area. I couldn't say out loud because I felt embarrassed. But in fact, I was a little scared of the curse.
Yeah,
that's weird, because it seemed like in the, I believe the 2nd chapter, it seemed like Shion didn't really believe in the curse at all.
やっぱり2年連続ってのは結構きますよね。私は今でもお社様は信じてるな。
Yeah, but now she seems to believe in it.
シオンちゃん、2年なんてもんじゃないよ。知らないの？
知らないですよ。何の話？
そっか。シオンちゃんはあれの直前に学園に行っちゃったんだもんな。知らないよな。
Uncle Yoshiro grimaced as if he said too much. As though he'd mentioned something I shouldn't know about.
何おじさん。そこまで話を振っておいて急に黙られると面白くないですよ。
まあ、シオンちゃんももう小さい子じゃないもんな。
おじさん、私を見てまだ小さい子供っていうのなら、眼科行くか回し蹴り食らうかのどちらかを選んでもらうことになるんですけど。
もう分かったよ。別に隠しゃしないよ。あったんだよ。その後も。
あったって？おじさん、さっきから何の話？
Tick. When I was very little, I always had this tick before I heard something bad. It was like a gnome who lived inside me was giving me a warning. Like he was poking me with a small needle. When I felt this tick before my parents called me, they'd always either chide me or tell me something bad. So I used to run away when I felt it. But my senses seemed to have grown dull over the years. Even though my gnome poked at me, I just sat there.
実は賛成派の北条が転落事故で死んだ次の年にもな。つまりは去年なんだが、またあったんだよ。
あったって、また綿流しの日に？ 3 年連続で？また？
そうなんだよ。ほら、ひなみ沢の神社あるよな。古出神社。あそこの神主が祭りの夜に突然ぽっくりいっちまってよ。聞いた話じゃ原因不明の奇病で急死したとかしないとか。それもまたしても綿流しの夜に。で、神さんもその晩のうちに沼に飛び込んじまって、村長たちが集まっててんやわんやの。
Okay, alright.
奇病ってのはおひれだと思うけどね。
I was gonna say, if it wasn't for the fact that the mayor died in one of the chapters, maybe it's the mayor who's somehow, like, having this happen so people don't leave Hinamizawa? And people... I don't know. I don't know.
休止したってのは本当。神主さんは綿流しの準備で大変だったと思うし、あの頃は少し体調崩してたみたいだからね。急性心不全とかそういう感じのよくあるやつだったんだと私は思ってるけどね。でも綿流しの日にってのが異常でしょ。それも3年連続で。普通に考えたら人の死がこうも同じ日に重なるなんてことは考えられない。警察も検視したみたいだけど、その後に特に騒がなかったってことは死因に不審な点はなかったってことじゃないの？
And now it's weird, it seems like Mion doesn't really believe in the curse. It's like it's been flipped.
まあでもシオンの言う通り、人の死が3年も続いて綿流しの日に重なると、いやそれにさっきお姉も言った通り、お社様にたたられそうな人ばかり開始する。これは絶対に何かあります。たたりでも陰謀でも、とにかく絶対裏に何か因果関係がある。
I decide to meet up with Mion at the library near the Okonomiya train station. It's not that I don't trust Mion, but I don't want to let her know where I live. Not many people use this library, so I won't see anyone from Hinamizawa here. It's very convenient for meeting someone in secret, like she did with, Keiichi. After we discuss my life plan and work schedule, we move to small talk. I've been away from this town for years. Things have changed. I asked Mion about those changes in detail in order to fill in the gaps. While talking about various things, I brought up what Uncle Yoshiro had told me about Oyashiro-sama's curse. Even before I left town, the curse had already struck twice. The dismemberment murder on the first year left quite an impact. And the year after, the pro-dam activist couple fell off the cliff on the day the villagers were enjoying their first Watanagashi festival, since the dam project was indefinitely frozen. This one also left quite the impact. The evil construction site manager was punished, and the next year, the traitor to the village met the same fate. If it had happened only once, people would have concluded it was just a bizarre coincidence. But when it happened 2 years in a row, people were far more likely to believe it was a curse. I know up to that part. And after I left town, the curse struck again for the third time. People talked about the curse more intensely than ever, both in Hinamizawa and Okonomiya. I have to rethink this. Oyashiro-sama's curse has drastically gained credibility while I was away. It was still unclear with the first two incidents, but after it continued for 3 years straight, people's doubts changed to convictions. Even though the priest who died on the third year wasn't an enemy of the villagers, the fact people in Hinamizawa didn't care for him much added even more credibility to the idea. Oh my god! It's my first time seeing a sprite! Oh my gosh, like other than Kasai briefly, I was like, my goodness. It's nice to see a familiar face.
日和見主義なんじゃないかって叩かれてたね。戦争末期は同盟内でも過激な理論がまかり通ってたから。神主さんの穏健な態度はそういう人たちにとって気に食わないものだったと思うね。
The priest had looked strict and scary. The way he spoke was always so formal. But in reality, he was very warm and reserved. Maybe it was because he was a son-in-law having married into his family. I'm sure the priest and his personality were the perfect fit for managing the shrine that was used for summer festivals and village meetings. But that gathering spot-style atmosphere of the shrine changed completely when the dam war broke out and it became the headquarters for the Onagafuchi Guardians. Okay, so now it's the Guardians and not the Defense Alliance. Prior to the dam protest, hardly anyone worshipped Oyashiro-sama. Of course, the devout elders paid worship to him, but the average person treated our god like how you treat fortune-telling. Once the dam protest began, Oyashiro-sama was suddenly hauled out as the symbol of the village's resistance. Tracing the Oyashiro-sama faith back to its roots, it was an exclusive elitist faith that believed its members were descended from a holy ancestor, different from the masses at the foot of the mountain, and that those tainted masses should never come near the village. Or maybe it was the old people. Maybe the old people started killing people off so people would respect Oyashiro. Of course, such self-centered ideology wasn't acceptable anymore in peaceful post-war Japan. So this doctrine was abandoned over time. Still, that idea remained, and they trudged it back up to fan the flames of nationalism and unite the town against the dam project. With the revival of those ideas, things only grew more radical by the day, and it didn't take very long for the Onagafuchi Guardians to become aggressive. After that, we were in a state of war. 100 million burning as one, kill the white savages, want naught but victory. Adults and kids both were gnawing at the bit, avid to repel the foreign invaders. Describing it like that makes it sound kind of awful, like a reminder of the dark times of wartime Japan. But like I said before, for us kids, it felt less like a war and more like a village-wide festival. Yet, despite calling it a festival, dissenters were treated coldly. Their heartlessness lived up to the expression, wartime regime. The Hojo couple who voiced their acceptance of the dam project in the midst of that atmosphere were truly brave. Then, on the second year of the curse, they died in an accident, and everyone believed it was Oishiro-sama's curse without question. So they were branded traitors and enemies of the village. The Hojo couple faced worse than just being ostracized as traitors. Everyone gave them the cold shoulder and talked behind their backs. The only person who didn't treat them badly was the priest. While the priest never objected to the anti-dam movement, he also never objected to the Hojo couple's advocacy for accepting the government's eviction and restitution to rebuild new lives. Those unforgivable Hojos became a slogan as the three families, especially the Sonozakis, united the village by turning them into scapegoats. So they must have found it very shameful to have a fellow member of the three families approve of that, especially when it was the priest of the shrine that had become a symbol for the dam protest. As central figures in Hinmizawa, the three families were the backbones of the Onagafuchi Guardians, so difference of opinion was undesirable, and the priest was never accused of anything. But secretly, people whispered he was a heretic, that he was unfit to serve as Oishiro-sama's priest, that Oishiro-sama's curse would soon strike him down, along with other rumors.
今にして考えると、神主さんって結構大人だったのかもねって思いません?
He was pretty cool, managing to keep his head and remain neutral while everyone around him grew fervent. I thought Mion would share my opinion when I chimed back in. So when Mion gave me a forced smile and didn't agree with me, I was taken by surprise.
本当に大人だったら、あそこは周りに合わせて強調すべきところだったと思うね。
Well, she's speaking as a Sonozaki heir, right? It's like she's gotta think that way, whether she truly believes that or if she's been kind of indoctrinated by her grandma.
フルデのおじさんは単に神社の神主だっただけじゃなく、仮にも御三家の一つ、フルデ家の長だったんだからさ。
Like maybe she believes she has to feel that way because she's the, the heir of the demon.
南沢全体が結束しなくちゃならない時に、模範となるべき御三家の人間が自分から輪を乱すのは、それが大人と呼べるかどうかは、私には難しいな。
I was taken aback. I barely managed to say the following. Even though we're identical twins, we still had our own unique identities. Every now and then our opinions differed, but usually only over some trivial matter. We've never had a difference of opinion this big. It wasn't an enjoyable feeling. I decided to probe her some more. Oh boy, hopefully this isn't what made Mion think Shion was some kind of like outsider or like she's a heretic too for believing that, the priest didn't deserve to die.
お姉の言う協調って言葉がなんだか好きじゃないんですけど、つまりそれって何？村全体を考えて神主さんは自分の考えを隠しているべきだったって、そういう話？要するに全体主義の中でこう主張するなと、そういう話？別にそこまでは言わないけど、ただやっぱり御三家の長の一人なんだから、もう少し言動は慎重にしてもよかったんじゃないかって、そういうことだよ。
Mion faltered a bit as my tone grew more like a cross-examination. I realized I was speaking a bit too harshly. What Mion expressed was probably the more mature opinion on our scale. When everyone needs to work together to stand up to a vast enemy like the government, people should refrain from actions that would destabilize that alliance. Writing it out and reading it now, I can understand that. But I wasn't mature enough to agree to such a totalitarian idea. Or maybe it wasn't me at all. It was Mion who'd made that mature judgment. We've been separated for over a year. I've been away from the town. In the meantime, Mion had been training to take over the headship of the Sonozaki family. She'd been treated as such even before I was confined to that institution. She sat next to the hag in ceremonies and in meetings. She took her place when the hag was absent. But that was just it. We were never that different. Mion had become very like a successor since I'd been gone.
お姉もいつの間にか大人になっちゃいましたね。
She seemed to get what I was implying.
やっぱり私もバッチャみたいな考え方になっちゃってきたかな。いいじゃないですか。お姉は次期当主なんだから、いつまでも下々と同じ考え方じゃまずいでしょ。さすが帝王学を学んだだけのことはある。そんなの学んでないよ。どうやればバッチャの振りができるかってそれだけだよ。シオンにだって簡単にできるよ。そんなのやりたくないです。ばあさんのおもりはミオンのお役目。ま、疲れない程度にほどほどに頑張りなさいませ。
I didn't mean to be cold, but Mion seemed to take it that way. She smiled as if trying to pacify me. I smiled gently back at her.
おねえ。ミオン。何？確かに私たちの別離はいつも穏便じゃなかった。名前を引き離され、住まいを引き離され、そして体を引き離された時もいつもね。
Mion looked down with a serious face, but then looked right back up.
あんたは私がそのあたりで逆恨みしてるんじゃないかって思ってるかもしれない。でもそれは、そりゃ確かに確執はあったよ。でもそんなのは時間で流れる程度のもの。あんたが引け目を感じるようなことは何もない。
This feels so different than what things turned out to be in Chapter 2 and what might happen in this later chapter. Up until birth, we were perfectly equal. Right after birth, we were separated by the grown-ups' priorities. I used to get mad about it when I was little. There's no denying that. But we don't have to start a disagreement over it. Mion seems to understand what I'm trying to say. We each have our own characteristics, even though we're identical twins. Only we know the differences. We're also dependent on each other because of them. Mion seems more dependent. She always worries about me. If somebody gave her a cookie, she'd divide it in two and give one half to me. If somebody gave her a candy, she'd wait until I said it was okay to eat it. On the contrary, I'm cold. I don't care about others if I'm satisfied. I'd put the candy in my mouth right away. I have to emphasize that I don't hate her, and I'm well aware she loves me. We both know that. Mio must have been hesitating to put the candy of the successor in her mouth and was waiting to see if I was okay with that.
頑張れ、ミオ。私もシオンを頑張る。
I tapped her forehead with my fist lightly. Mion put her forehead against my fist, as if trying to feel the warmth. She's Mion, and I'm Shion. She's the successor of the Sonozaki family, and I'm just a vagabond. That isn't a distinction, but rather our individuality. We shouldn't worry too much about the other anymore. We should feel relaxed, living as who we are with our own characteristics. I didn't have to say any of that out loud. We can communicate by touch, just like this.
ありがとう。シオン、頑張ろう、ミオン。困ったことがあったらいつでも相談して。私たちはいつだってそうやってきた。それはこれからも何も変わらないよ。
Will that never change? I somehow doubt that. Mion kept nodding with her forehead against my fist. Alright guys, so that will wrap it up for this episode. Sorry for cutting it off in a weird spot, but I'm a little short on time. As always, it always tends to kind of start a little bit slow with each chapter, but what has got me interested is what is going to change between Mion and Shion, because they definitely seem to get along. And in the span of a year, it seems like Mion can't stand Shion. So I am like, okay, what happened in that time span? So curious about that. It really seems to be focusing on Mion and Shion's relationship, so I'm very interested in what's going to happen. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Stay tuned for the next one, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.